Cafecito Con Cristell, the coffee break with Cristell.
Hi everybody, welcome to El Cafecito with Cristell, the coffee break with Cristell. I am so excited. We have a great friend of our Studio Fusion Ballroom right here with us, talking about fantastic products and her amazing business, Root and Live. In this episode, we have our friend Hayley, and stay tuned because this is what we're gonna talk all about in this episode of El Cafecito with Cristell. It's all about health. Hey, Hayley, how you doing today?
I am doing fabulous. Thank you so much for having me.
I know, I'm so excited. So, tell me all about Roots and Leaf. Tell me how everything started, why you get into holistic medicine and more into herbs and all that fantastic stuff that God gave us.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. So, I had Lyme disease that went undiagnosed for almost 15 years.
Oh, wow.
So it started when I was 18, and I was very sick for many years, went to lots of doctors. They never really could diagnose what was wrong with me, but I had chronic fatigue. I was basically like a grandma in an 18-year-old body.
Oh, no.
And I had horrible headaches, migraines. I would get flu-like sensations that would come and go. And so I dealt with that for 15 years. Mm-hmm. Really pushed through. I was still working in corporate America, got my master's in business. But on the inside, I was really struggling with my physical symptoms and just not living life to the fullest. So I'm originally from Texas and worked for a large conglomerate there, a corporate 500 company, and they moved us to South Carolina. And I was working here in Augusta and as a human resources business partner, and my symptoms kept getting progressively worse. Then I finally went to a doctor in Charleston, South Carolina, and she was an MD, but she was also an herbalist. And she is the one that finally did the right testing and diagnosed me with Lyme disease. Wow. I also had co-infections of Lyme, mycoplasma pneumonia, and then I had very high mold in my blood as well.
Oh, wow.
So I requested that they do a test of the work environment, and there was mold at work. The two molds that were very high in my blood were the two molds that were very high in the office. So unfortunately, OSHA does not regulate mold, so they weren't really required to do much. So I requested that I could maybe work from home a couple days a week so I could rest, and they weren't working with me. They wouldn't work with me, and so I came to a crossroads in my life. Do I want to continue working for this corporation? I made really good money. I worked really hard as a woman to get to where I was in that male-dominated corporate political world.
I understand.
But I just physically, emotionally, and spiritually could not do it anymore. So I decided to quit my job.
Oh, wow.
And it was a really big step, and everybody told me not to do it, told me I was crazy, and I said, well, I just, it's what my soul is telling me to do, so I'm going to do it. And so at that time, I was making, the MD that was the herbalist told me it was too late to do antibiotics. So the Lyme was too buried into my cells because it had been too long. And so she told me herbs could heal me. And so she told me which herbs to use to boost my immune system. So I was making this herbal concoction at home.
At the house.
Yeah, and drinking it for myself to heal my Lyme disease. And so basically, it was like elderberry syrup, which has been around for hundreds of years. It's a very well-known folk remedy. Definitely not something I created or that she created. But I was adding extra herbs to it that was not in the typical recipe, the herbs that she was telling me to take to heal my Lyme. So I was adding turmeric, pepper so that I could absorb the turmeric. I was adding echinacea and raw garlic and all of these amazing powerhouse herbs. And I was taking that daily and started to see great improvement in my health. Now, quitting my job was some of that too, because that was a lot of stress.
A lot of stress.
Yeah, I was working like 60 hours a week, so that was a big part of my healing as well. And then, so I was making this elderberry tonic is what I was calling it. And I went to a store down the street in Aiken, Cold Creek Nurseries. They were my first retail partner. And I was telling them I was making this and that it was really helping me and that I'd quit my job. And she suggested that I sell it in their store.
Wow.
And I said,
great opportunity.
Yeah, great opportunity. And I said, well, let me figure out how to do that legally, right? Let me make sure I've got all my, T's crossed and I's dotted. And I did. And so I started selling my products there, and they were just flying off the shelf.
Nice.
And then the lady that worked at Coal Creek was a good friend, and she got me into 2 other retail stores that she knew the owners of. And so then I was like, okay, I think I can make this a business.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. So, and this was all within 2 weeks of me quitting my job.
Wow. It was meant to be.
It was meant to be. It was a God thing. When I quit my job, God completely swooped in and had the next thing ready for me.
That's fantastic.
And, that's what another thing I teach people, don't live in fear. If you have a dream in your heart, step out and do it.
Yeah.
And God's got your back.
That's true. I can totally relate.
Yeah.
Because I did the same thing with the studio. It was a live of faith, right?
Yes.
And after many years of being trained and music and dancing, it was the right moment to do it, and everything was put in place to be able to go for it.
Yeah.
So I have other questions. Everything is coming to my head so much because you're talking about women, you're talking about businesses, you're talking about how you went your process with your health and what gets you to do your products. It's so important that people out there see that when you have something in your hands, go through the process, do it, but also, like you said, get everything in check. How hard was the process to patentize your products?
It was difficult because I didn't have any guidance. There wasn't a lot of answers on Google on, is this a supplement? Is this a food? I would call the Department of Agriculture. There wasn't a lot of guidance. So I really spent a lot of late nights just bootstrapping searching, figuring it out. It was difficult. And that is another business that I want to start, is to help other people in my shoes have some support that I didn't have.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was tough. But I figured it out and, obviously got it done. So, yeah, because I was very motivated. I was very passionate. But it was difficult.
I totally can imagine, especially because in my case, I don't handle products, I handle service. So I'm always being very curious about what is the process of patentize a product or an invention? Because this is also an invention, I believe.
Yeah.
It is considered also an invention in the patent world,
Well,
or is more like a creation?
It's more like a creation. So I do have my elderberry tonic trademarked.
Okay, great.
But it's really more of a trademark. I can't really trademark the recipe because it's like you can't trademark a spin on chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but I can trademark the name and the design. So no one just copies that, right? And sells it. And it's not even that I'm worried. There's plenty for everyone, right? I'm not worried about someone else selling elderberry tonic, but I have a level of quality that I maintain in my product, and I wouldn't want someone doing a knockoff version and it not being my quality, and then people assuming it's me. So that's the main reason I got that trademarked. But yeah, the trademark process wasn't too difficult, but the actual starting of my business and making sure it was legal, safe, shelf stable, third-party tested, all of that stuff I had to figure out by myself.
It is tough. Yeah, and it takes so long to create a product. It's not only the recipes, also the packaging, the design, make sure that you have the people that can distribute all this for you and package for you. Yeah. Do you run a small little group of people that it's in your house, or you have a place or a business that you use to pack everything or create everything in Aiken?
So I have actually 2 different co-packers is what they're called. A co-packer is somebody that's considered like a smaller manufacturer. They typically are making their own products and they're co-packing yours on the side. So my guy in Asheville, North Carolina, he makes jams and he supplies a lot of the restaurants in Asheville, North Carolina with his jams. He makes wonderful jams.
Oh, that's delicious.
And so he's my co-packer for my elderberry tonic.
Okay, great.
So he makes it there, he bottles it, labels it. It's still handmade. It's not like a overly manufactured process. It's still very much curated with love and attention to detail. And then we pick it up from him and we bring it back to our facility in Aiken, and that's where my employees work, and we just ship everything out of there. And then I have a co-packer in Greenville, South Carolina, that makes my elderberry gummies, and they make my magnesium body butter.
That, by the way, they're delicious.
They are super
and very
yummy.
good for you.
Yes, they're delicious. So they make the elderberry, the magnesium, and then we pick that up from them, and we bring it home and we distribute. And then my employees in Aiken make my herbal loose leaf teas. They make my elderberry dry kit and my salve.
Okay, so you work on hand to hand with them as well.
Yeah, I don't so much anymore because I'm so busy, and I have 2 amazing female employees that they are so good. They've been with me for several years, and they know what they're doing, and I let them run, and they are allowed to work. They work flexible schedules. It's very important for me to not only hire women, but allow them to work when they can. Because as a mom, I didn't get that opportunity whenever I was working in corporate America. So
be more flexible.
More flexible. I don't care when they come in, as long as the orders get out
and the job is done.
It gets done. Yeah.
So I have another question for you now that we're talking about family.
Yes.
How the business affect in a positive or negative way your family? We know you have a beautiful daughter, Addie, and your husband that we love.
Yes.
And how all this creation is being now part of you guys' life affect the family?
Oh man, it has been such an amazing experience. It's been the biggest blessing. So I was actually able to have my husband was able to quit his job in October.
That's awesome.
He's a software engineer, a software developer. He creates apps. He was working for a company in Texas from home in Aiken for 10 years. And it was a wonderful job. He got paid really well. It was another one of those crosswords of are we going to be all in with this thing? But we were tired of the limits of vacation that he had, and we love to travel. We travel a lot. We're always going to Greenville and Asheville, and he would always have to be working in the hotel and when we're out at the park. And so finally I said, let's just quit. Let's just go all in. And so he did. It's been a year since he quit his job. And then it's just been wonderful to parent together during the day. And so now we tag team, which it used to just be all me, And so it's been such a blessing. And now
he helps a lot with
He helps a lot.
as well.
Yeah, he built my app that I use for Roots and Leaves, that I handle all of my wholesale orders for my retailers. And then my employees use that app to ship and mark stuff off as shipped and whatever. So it's amazing. He said that app would have cost $30,000 if we would have paid someone to do it. So I have tech support on call.
That's awesome. And it's always good to have one of those. I have one of those at home too.
Yes, it's amazing. And so now he's there's still a few things I'm having him work on for the app, some integrations to FedEx and some integrations to Square. So he's working on that today probably, literally. But then once he's done with that, he's got a lot of projects that he wants to do in starting a consulting business for software development.
That's awesome. Because this is also giving him an opportunity to be more creative in his field.
Absolutely.
And open more doors for him. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's talk about also how people can get your products.
Yes.
The retail stores, the online store, where we can get it in the United States, where we can get it outside of the United States. Let's talk about that.
Okay, so the way I've modeled my business is I have been very focused on partnering with retail stores.
Great.
So, and I don't sell on Amazon.
Okay.
And I do that on purpose because I believe that the small businesses are the backbone of our country.
That's for sure.
And so I partner with small retail stores that are individually owned. And so first and foremost, what I would like customers or future customers to do would be to go to my website, which is rootsandleaves.info.
That, by the way, we're probably going to put it right here.
Right there. Rootsandleaves.info. And there will be a store locator link. They can put their zip code, they can put their town.
Great.
They can see what store is closest to them that sells my products. So please go there first, because when you purchase from a retail store, you support me and them.
That's for sure.
It's amazing. And you save on shipping costs.
Of course.
So that is what I always say first. If there's not a retail store near you, you can always order online, and I ship all over the United States. I can ship to Puerto Rico. I can ship to the Virgin
Puerto Rico
Islands.
people, go get it.
Yeah. And if there's a retailer in Puerto Rico, I can talk to them, and we can maybe talk about working together.
Great.
Yeah. So I already sell in some international stores as well. I'm in currently I'm in 350 retail stores.
Nice.
Yes, so all over the United States, but I'm also in one in Scotland, and I'm in the Virgin Islands, and there's a couple of other ones that I just can't remember off the top of my head. But so yeah, plug in your zip code, see where the closest store is, and then always call them before you make the drive, make sure they're in stock and all of that stuff. But that's how you can get it.
Great. That's
Yes.
so exciting. So you guys know, go to our website, put that zip code there, and if you cannot find a store near you, go ahead and order online.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, the other things I want to talk is definitely, your products.
Yeah.
The important and the shining stars of this company.
Yes.
Tell me all about your products. I know your star is the elderberry tonic.
Yes.
You have many other things. And also tell me about what are they good for specifically. We know that we went through a big pandemic and we were all dealing with something that we're not going to mention.
Right.
So the platforms don't get on us.
Yeah.
But how much these products also help people get better.
Absolutely. So yeah, my flagship product, my number one bestseller is my elderberry and honey tonic, and it is really, really great for supporting the immune system. So it is also good at lowering inflammation as well.
Great.
So because I add the turmeric in there and the cloves and the garlic and the ginger, it's just really great when your body is struggling with a virus, no matter what the virus is. It doesn't matter. You would take it every 2 hours. And the clinical studies that have been done on elderberry show that it helps to prevent that virus from replicating further. So when viruses start to attach to our cells and you start to get sicker and sicker, it's because that virus is just going, it's just doubling,
crazy.
spreading, it's going everywhere. And elderberry has been shown to stop that viral replication.
That's
So
fantastic.
there's been several clinical trials, double-blind placebo studies done on elderberry. So it's very effective, all natural, no side effects.
Awesome.
Always check with your doctor. Have to have that disclaimer. I am not a medical professional.
Exactly.
I'm an herbalist, but I can't prescribe this, but we have personally used it many times. My daughter is 6. She has never been sick for more than 2 days.
Wow. That's
Never.
Great.
She's never had an ear infection. She's never, none of that. So we use this at the very onset of symptoms, and we also use it every day as prevention as well.
So it's very safe for kids as well.
Yes.
That's important to
It is.
mention.
Absolutely. Over 1 for the elderberry and honey tonic because there's honey, only because of the honey.
Yes.
So under 1, they can't have honey because of, potential botulism. But over 1, yes, totally. My daughter has been getting this constantly since she was 1 years old.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So it's very safe for the family. It's good for everybody to have it. And in these days, we need anything we can get to get that immune system very healthy and strong.
Absolutely. And the inflammation, too, is a big deal. Inflammation is the root of almost all disease. Alzheimer's, arthritis, you name it, the root is inflammation. And so if we can lower the inflammatory load in our body by eating clean, whole foods, and then supplementing with things that lower inflammation like turmeric and elderberry, it's very, very important.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. And I did try it also, and it's great, and it also have a very good taste.
It does. It's delicious.
It's not one of those vitamin drinks that you're like, oh no, I cannot drink this.
Yeah, it took me a long time to formulate to get the flavor because elderberries can be very bitter, but I worked with rose hips and hibiscus to kind of help cut some of that bitterness. And then, I do put raw honey in there, but I do not do a lot. There's a lot of elderberry syrups that put a ton of honey in there.
And then the sugar goes
up. Yeah, the honey's good for us, but it's still a sugar. You want to minimize it. So I do. And so it's one of the lowest sugar of all the elderberry syrups that I've seen out there.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So tell me about the other products.
Yeah, so this is an elderberry tonic dry kit. So say you're vegan and you can't take the elderberry tonic because it has the honey in it.
Okay.
This is your chance to put on your herbalist hat and make it yourself.
Nice.
It's got super easy instructions on the back. Not to mention, this is just like beautiful artwork.
It's so beautiful.
So beautiful. It's got simple instructions. It says, you take 5 cups of water, boil it. You just dump this package in there, cook it, strain it, add your sweetener of choice, and it makes 2 of these. So it's a really good option. It's a budget-friendly option that I wanted to offer people because this is this retails for 25 to 30, depending on the store, and this retails for 20, and it makes double. So it's really good for big families too that are going through the elderberry tonic fast. Yeah, I wanted to have an even more affordable option because I don't believe that you should be wealthy to have access to herbal remedies.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And any type, that's in any other situation.
Absolutely.
And that will be another podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
That we can talk for hours.
Yes.
Now, this also give the people the opportunity to enjoy and use the tonic warm.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
You make it as a tea.
Yeah, you can make it as a tea. So that's what I love about this. You can make it as a huge jar of elderberry tonic, or you can just make it as a tea every day if you want.
And use it
and drink it like that.
Little by little.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about these babies.
Yes, the gummies.
These things are amazing.
Yeah, they're good. They're delicious. They are a vegan gummy, which is very, very rare in the gummy world.
Okay.
And so that was very important to a lot of my customers whenever I was doing some beta testing. And it's got vitamin C and zinc in it too, which is really nice. And they're just a delicious raspberry flavor.
They are.
You have to refrain from eating the whole bottle. So, yeah, it's very good.
Yes, I have that situation at home. I brought a bottle, and Mr. Ramon thought he was eating candy, and I'm like, this is not candy, only 2 a day.
Yeah, exactly.
They are great. They're great.
Delicious.
And also, they really help you a lot.
Yeah.
To keep that vitamin C going in your system.
And the zinc, yep, absolutely.
Good. Do we have any other products or any other products in the making?
Yeah, so there's a lot of other products that I make that are not on this table. So my other bestseller is a magnesium body butter that you put on your skin. It's really good for sore muscles. It's good for joint pain. Magnesium pills are notorious for not being fully absorbed in our digestive tract, and also for a lot of people, they cause stomach upset. So the magnesium body butter, when you put it on your skin, it's absorbed into your bloodstream, and it's literally just like taking a magnesium pill, but it's fully absorbable.
Nice.
So we put it on the bottom of our feet at night before we go to bed. It helps us to sleep better, sleep deeper, it can help with headaches, muscle tension. Magnesium is one of the most important minerals that we should be taking, and 80% of us are deficient in it because it's not in our soil like it used to be, and we're not consuming enough of the foods that have it in it. So,
and it's not in the water either.
And it's not in the water. So supplementing with magnesium is important. So if you don't use mine, use somebody else's, that's fine. But transdermal on the skin is the best way to get magnesium into your body.
We need to try that one. It will be great for our dancers' feet.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes.
Okay, great. So magnesium butter and anything else?
Yeah, I have First Aid Salve that I infuse with herbs. And it also has raw manuka honey. It has black seed oil in it, neem. It is amazing for diaper rashes, eczema, psoriasis. Wow, that's great. Any sort of cut we get, we just put that on and put a Band-Aid instead of like the petroleum-based Neosporin, which is what I was raised on.
Yeah.
So it's an all-natural antibacterial like disinfectant. It's really great for preventing scars. So if you get like a cut, put it on there.
It will fix that right away.
It will help to heal the skin faster and prevent scarring as well. And then I have several loose leaf teas as well that I have like an allergy tea, a chlorine fluoride detox tea, a thyroid support tea, and my newest tea is a tummy ease tea.
Okay,
So,
great.
yeah.
To get people.
Yeah, like if they, some people have a lot of stomach issues. They have IBS, they have, just nausea, heartburn, acid reflux. It's also really good to drink that tea before a meal to get your digestive acid going so that you digest your food better.
Instead of that pill that people get
exactly.
all the time.
So yes, and then, so that's the majority of what I wholesale to retailers. There's a few others that I sell online, like I have an herbal face serum that people love. I do not wholesale that because we make it in very small batches right now. But yeah, so there's a lot of fun stuff to check out. And then I am right in the middle right now of launching a new product called...
Tell us about it.
It's called Fire Cider.
Okay.
And it is an apple cider vinegar-based drink. So I take the apple cider vinegar, and my co-packer does, and it's infused for 4 weeks. It's never heated, so it's the apple cider vinegar has all the raw probiotics still, the mother is what they call it, in there. And so it's infused with onion, ginger, cayenne, horseradish, garlic, sage, thyme, rosemary. And so it's a spicy vinegar drink, but it's sweet too because I do raw honey in it as well. So you take a little shot of that every day. You only need about a tablespoon, similar to the elderberry, and it's really good for gut health. It's really good for digestion. If you have like acid reflux, if your stomach's upset, you take that. It helps tremendously.
It's also good to lose weight.
It's good to get your
I need 10
metabolism. It's good to get your metabolism up and running. As soon as you take the shot, you can feel your whole body just warm up. So it's good for your circulatory system. And a lot of people don't like to take it as a shot because it can be strong. I'm hardcore. I take it like, I just shoot it back. My husband loves to just drink it in his water all day.
And dilute it a little bit.
Yeah, and now he's addicted to that. He doesn't like plain water. He drinks that literally all day.
Because it has a better taste.
Yeah, and it's just a unique taste. So we're launching that right now. It will be ready on October 24th. Should be hitting retail shelves and on my website. So it's one of those products that is interesting to produce because I'm used to cooking products like the elderberry and it being done that day. So this product sits for 4 weeks.
It takes time. It's almost like a good wine,
It is. And so we will have limited, so
quantities for now.
First come, first serve on that. Yeah. Limited qualities for now until we, scale up.
Exactly. That's great. Well, now, what are the future plans in your business? Not only with the products, but also with all the things that you want to do. Tell us a little bit more about that too.
Well, I am a serial entrepreneur and I have a lot of dreams in my heart. I love, love, love to help people and see people set free of chronic illness, see people have hope when they're living with something chronic because I know what that feels like. It can be crushing to your spirit. And so my next plans are to keep obviously running Roots and Leaves, probably develop some other products as well over the next couple of years, hand a little bit more over to my husband to manage Roots and Leaves as I go into creating some digital courses. So yeah, I have, I want to reach more people. And I go to events, like I went to an event yesterday in Aiken, a health and wellness event, and I talked to so many wonderful people that were struggling, and I really felt like I could help them. They had hope. I walked away fulfilled, but I'm only one person and I can only reach so many people in a day.
Exactly.
So digital courses are going to allow me to get to a wider audience and help more people. So my first one is probably going to be some sort of holistic remedy membership or course where people can join and have a like-minded community, have their questions answered. It's going to have a lengthy herbal resource of like, here's what this herb is called, here's what this herb does, here's how you use it, here's how you grow it. So it'll have all of that, but then it will also have all of my holistic remedies that I've been curating for 10 years on what do I do when I get a sore throat? What do I take? When I get a UTI, what do I do? I've healed UTIs on myself without antibiotics, strep throat without antibiotics, and I obviously don't, I always suggest check with your doctor. But I always try natural first.
Of course.
Antibiotics are very hard on our gut, and I grew up taking lots of antibiotics, so I've had to do a lot of work on my gut and my leaky gut, and so I'm always conscious of trying to prevent that in other people. So it's just going to be a lengthy resource, a quick guide on what to do when yourself is ill or your babies are ill, what you can do naturally, and have the community there as a support.
Great.
Yeah.
So this digital course is all not only to teach people, but you also going to provide almost like a digital recipe book, kind of?
Exactly.
So where people can go ahead and search and do their own things at home?
Exactly.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
That is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll have coaches in there too.
Good.
People that if they need, more one-on-one work, I'll have a nutritionist in there. I have someone that's an expert on diabetes that's going to be in there.
Great.
So if they want to do more one-on-one work with someone, they'll have access to that.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds great.
I'm excited.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
The only thing we're missing is when we're going to send you to Shark Tank.
I know. People, you would not believe how many people have told me that. And you know what I say? As a businesswoman and entrepreneur, I don't need them. I'm like, I don't. And I'm really proud of that.
Yes.
And I don't want them to take my money. I can figure it out. No, it's a great show. But I think it's funny. People always say that to me. And I say, I don't need those guys.
I understand what you're saying because a lot of people see success of how much the bank account looks.
Right.
And success is really about what you create.
Absolutely.
And I find about that with my business myself. all the time. I have people around me that tell me, oh, that place is too small, or you need to move from there and go to a bigger venue. And I'm like, do you know how much rent costs?
Right. I know.
And those are the things like, it's maybe a smaller success, but it's my success.
That's right.
It's mine.
Absolutely.
And that's something everybody should be aware of that. And it's good. It's great to grow, and it's good to have partners and move forward. That's something that we all can do. But I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
It might take a little longer, but it tastes much better when you know it's yours.
Yes, when you've created it from scratch, it's
That's
so
for
much
sure.
more fulfilling.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm so excited. This has been a great talk with you.
Thank you for having me.
Everybody, please tell them about your website. Tell them your website again.
So it's rootsandleaves.info. You can also follow me on Instagram and Facebook at rootsandleavesinfo. No dots or dashes or anything. And I give a lot of free herbal advice on there. I'm constantly showing you guys how to make homemade mayonnaise, how to make homemade ranch, how to make different herbal teas, how to grow sage really easily. So give me a follow, and I really do try to give a lot of valuable information, and I do to my email subscribers as well. I provide a lot of resources.
Give us your email as well. What is your email?
So my email is rootsandleaves@outlook.com. But if you go to my website, rootsandleaves.info, there will be a pop-up that you can sign up for my newsletter. And I suggest that you do when I run sales. You're the first to know about it. Whenever I give out, recipes or blog posts, you're the first to know. And then you will be the first to know about my digital course too.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a pleasure to have you in our little coffee break. El Cafecito with Cristell. And we're hoping to see you more often. We know we see you on the dance floor here at Fusion Ballroom. And for me, it's a pleasure to be part of you guys' family as well, and you guys being part of ours.
Yes.
And we cannot wait to see you growing and see your products everywhere.
Thank you. Okay? Thank you so much for having me. And I just want to add that you are the best dance teacher. My husband could literally not hear a beat. He had 2 left feet, and she has turned him into a salsa dancer.
Oh,
and we actually have fun dancing now, and it is all thanks to you.
Oh,
because
thank you.
Lord knows we don't practice as much as we should.
I know they don't practice that
We don't. It's true. But we love it. It's so much fun. I love what you've built here.
Oh, thank you so much. It's all about community. It's all about a family, a familia, and make sure that everybody feels good, feel confident, and having the opportunity, like our slogan said, let us change your life forever, to change people's life.
I love that.
And I know that's what you do also with your products, and we're so happy to have you here.
Oh, thank you so much.
All right, well, this was our episode of El Cafecito with Cristell. I hope to see everybody on the next one. See you guys soon. Bye-bye. Adios.
Bye.